Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mike Reed here. Welcome back to another toy review by yours truly. And today we have a very, very special review for you guys that I've been waiting almost 3 months for to finally do. So, where do I even begin? So, throughout my reviews that I've done on a certain Beyblade X for quite some time now, we've seen our fair share of interesting releases. From the highly, unique, yet just interesting premise of the X system, basically taking everything that made Beyblade iconic, such as the fast-paced, aggressive battles, unique and iconic characters, amazing animation quality, just everything, and just culminating it all into one generation. Now, in terms of the products, this translates over in a few ways. First and foremost, taking, for example, our last review here on Hell Scythe here, for example, you guys can see that it's a pretty iconic design, and a very big departure from Burst because, we went from the more complex designs to the more simplified designs, right? Of course, having the metal come back, which was very iconic from Metal Fight or Metal Fusion, for those who remember that. Of course, we do have the plastic lens that covers the gear chip, very similarly to Plastic Gen. And we have 3 parts just like the Burst system. Not to mention, just like the Burst system, the bays do burst when they in battle. And have this, all in all, sort of like this very futuristic / just motif to them. And this has stuck around for a few systems now. So for the past few years, we've had only 2 different systems, right? We've had this system, of course, the BX or Basic X system, which of course was pretty good, as most of you could probably agree with. And then, of course, late last year, we got introduced into the Beyblade UX line, which, of course, introduced a line of Beyblades that each have a unique property to them that makes them, unique. In this case, with our lovely Drawn Buster here, the unique gimmick, of course, is the sword-like design and the one-hit kill point on it. And of course, they also made some other small changes, such as, of course, the gear chips no longer having the lens, now just having an exposed sticker on it. The gear chips also, I forgot to mention with BX, they would spin around when the bit was moved around or inside of the ratchet. They took that out. And of course, the ratchets were pretty much all new to accompany the unique line, right? And even some of the bits were also unique, hence the name Unique Line. But today we are taking a look at the next step in Beyblade evolution. Today we are taking a look at Beyblade CX. Now we're not just looking at this guy right here, but we're also going to be taking a look at CX02 and CX03. Yes. So we got a lot of stuff to review, a lot of big changes to talk about, just so many things. Now, before I preface this review as well, I will say, this is going to be part 1 of 2, because yes, this review does actually need to be 2 parts, because if you guys thought for a second this was everything for this new system, oh, trust me, you are not ready. You are not ready for what else there is in store. So definitely stay tuned for both parts, as this is going to be a big one. But today we are primarily taking a look at the main 3 of the CX system. I think we'll start off by taking a look at the brand new boxes for CX. So CX did release late last month. And because of how high the demand was for these guys, I literally had to wait what felt like an eternity to finally get mine shipped. From, of course, Model Toys, because they have just been amazing lately with their releases. I rarely ever talk about, shopping places that I buy from, because for the most part, it's the usual places that you get. But Model Toys has really been impressing me with their stuff, so I greatly appreciate them. They are so good. But anyhow, taking a look at the box now for the CX guys, we can see it's quite the visual design change, as we still have the Beyblade X logo that we're familiar with, and of course we have the CG render of the Bay, but what's interesting as well is we get this big pink line that goes across the top and on the bottom for the text. Now, of course, you'll also notice on the side, we have more parts than usual with the previous base. So all around, this is a major, major change for Beyblade X as a whole. But taking a look at Drawn Brave here, you guys can see the CG render for him. He looks absolutely fantastic. I love this redesign. And for those who are paying attention here and have been following my reviews, this design might look fairly similar, just a little bit, fairly similar to the original Drawn Sword, which is really cool to see that they're going back to the original Drawn Sword design that made this generation so iconic, right? And taking the most iconic design of the series so far and just basically doing an upgraded, revamped version of the character. Just really, really, really good stuff. Of course, on the side here, just take a look at that real quick. Again, we can see all the parts right there. Of course, we can see the top render of Drawn Brave, and we do get a winder launcher with this guy, which is brand new color for that. And of course, right here, we do have the CX01 Drawn Brave text, S660V. Hoo boy, we'll get into what all that means here in a bit. And of course, you do have the Extreme Gear Sports and the CX logo at the bottom. Now, of course, spinning around, okay. If I can actually, okay. The one time my turntable does not want to work with me today. Okay, here we go. Yeah, as I was saying, turntable, I know you're excited as I am, but like, let's rope it in a little bit, shall we? Of course, on the side, you do have the attack type logo once again, because this is, of course, an attack type. And of course, on the back, oh boy, we get a lot of different stuff back here. So, of course, we have the Drawn Brave text once again, S660V. And of course, on the back as well, we get a nice CG render of the owner of this bay in the show, Ekisu Kurosu, or Jackson Cross, for those that watch the English version. And of course, you do get its gimmick, which is, of course, the streamlined design that's designed to cut the air and allow it to spin a lot faster and be a lot more aggressive than the previous drawn line bays. And then, of course, down here, we do have all of the parts beautifully displayed here, which is always nice to see. Of course, you do get a little teaser at the winder launcher down there. And of course, up here, we still have our usual Beyblade X little picture there. Of course, we have the CX text once again. And then on this side, we have a teaser for the Beyblade X app in Japan. So that's pretty much it for Drawn Brave's box. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the other two, as they're fairly similar but also fairly different. So as you can see here with CX02, this is of course Wizard Arc. So yes, the Wizard line is getting its next evolution. And in this case, as you guys can see, it's going to go back to the original Wizard Arrow design that we're so familiar with, as opposed to the rather drastic design change we got with Wizard Rod. So that is really nice to see. But taking a better look at the box, it's again very similar to Drawn Brave's box, except of course we get the Wizard Arc text, CX02, R455LO. Of course, we'll get into what all that means here in a bit. And of course, on the side, we get another showcase of the custom line gimmick, which we'll talk more about that in a bit. And of course, you do get a nice CG render of Wizard Arc and its winder launcher that it comes with. Of course, as you turn around on this side, we do have the Stamina type logo once again. And on the back, we do get a very nice look at the gimmick here, along with, of course, the usual text once again. And of course, this is again owned by Nana Iro in the anime. So nice to see her come back and be the proud owner of this new bay. And of course, the gimmick with this one is going to be, of course, its low height and of course its stamina, which is also very important. But as you can see, compared to other bays, in this case, I believe that is Sphinx Cowl, it is quite a good bit shorter than other bays. Which I don't know if that's going to help it or hurt it, but I guess we'll find out later here, won't we? Of course, on the back here, we do get, of course, all the parts beautifully displayed there. The winder launcher, get the CX logo again, and of course, the usual Beyblade X logo, sort of little caption right there. And then, of course, on this side, just like with Brave's box, we do have the lovely X mobile app in Japan, beautifully displayed there. And last but not least, we'll take a quick look at the new booster box here for Perseus Dark, which this one is quite unique, I will say, as this is the first time I think in X we've gotten a Bey that isn't from Team Persona, which is interesting in the anime. So just very, very interesting. I believe this is from Team Zodiac, I think is in the anime. Feel free to correct me on that. And yeah, it's just really, really cool looking. Of course, right here we do have all the parts once again beautifully displayed, and the top of the blade right there. But of course, unlike with the other boxes, it is significantly smaller, as it should be. And we do get the CX03 Perseus Dark text, B680W. Of course, we'll get into what all that means here in a bit. Of course, right here we have the defense type logo. And on the back, we do get, of course, the Perseus Dark text once again. And we do get the owner of this Bey in the anime, which, for the life of me, I can't remember what his name was. Actually, let me quickly pause right here and Google it real quick. Okay, and after a quick Google search, apparently this guy's name is Roji Rance, or Rance Roji, however you want to pronounce it, whichever way around. But yeah, that's the owner of the Bey from the show. And of course we do have the gimmick, which of course is just thanks to its multiple points and its shape, it should be able to defend attacks from pretty much any direction, and apparently from above, directly in front of it, and below. So should be a pretty good all-arounder defense type by that logic. And then of course right here, aside from the giant sticker, we do get all of the parts beautifully displayed once again. Of course we get our nice Beyblade X logo once again, or the little caption. We get the CX text once again, and a whole bunch of legal jargon. And of course the app teaser over here as well. So, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and crack these guys open and see how cool they actually are. But, to change it up, because of how new these guys are, I'll go ahead and for a change open all of these live on the video here. Because usually I would do a quick jump cut, of course, but because these are so new and I'm curious to see just how much they changed the boxes this time around, we'll go ahead and just open it up here, as I'm sure there are some changes inside as well. So quickly peeling this guy open. Oh boy, okay. It's looking pretty much the same as you would get with the original UX and BX lines. So just do a quick snip right here. And, oh boy, okay. Of course, we get a caution while playing right here. Basically telling you to, not be a maniac and get your face right up in there. Okay, so what's nice is that they do individually pack the winder and everything, and oh, they actually pack the Bey differently. Look at this. Okay, so give that a little snip, and that should be the winder launcher right here, which is individually bagged, which I don't think they did that before, so that is actually different, I believe. So there is the winder launcher right there. And then, of course, right here is our new CX Bey, all beautifully packed inside. And I believe, like before, they should individually have all the parts bagged up. Oh, and yes, they do. And we do get our usual pamphlet in here. Normally, I would skip these, but I think this time around, I'll go ahead and show off all of the pamphlets. So, I think at this point, I'll just go ahead and crack open Wizard over here real quick. Just do a quick jump cut for that, because I'm pretty sure it should be exactly the same. And then we'll quickly crack open Perseus Dark and see what he looks like inside. Alright, so now I've gotten Wizard Arc out of the box here. Yeah, like I said, it's basically about the same for John Braves. But let's go ahead and crack open Perseus Dark's real quick here. And see what his looks like, since I'm curious. Did they change the booster boxes at all? Actually, get this sucker open. There we go. Pull her on out. So, yep. Pretty much the same as any Takara booster box, really. At least so far. And yeah, just about the same. Well, that's disappointing. Well, I'll go ahead now and finish cracking open this guy here. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at all these new bays. Finally. Alright guys, so with all of these lovely, lovely bays fully unboxed now, let's go ahead and take a look at the pamphlets for each of these. Starting off, of course, with Drawn Braves. And let's see what it has on it. Of course, right here we do get another look at how the bays battle, right? And how they work in the stadium. Of course, it also shows off the string launcher. In this case, oddly, it shows off the Impact Drake one, which is interesting. And of course, right here we do have a custom combo here, which is Drawn, what is this? Drawn Arc, I believe? B980 or 960E, okay? Which I believe is, yeah, Drawn Arc, Bumper, 960 Elevate. So, pretty interesting to see there. And then, of course, right here we do get a teaser for the next bay, which, spoiler alert, I believe is going to be called Pegasus Blast. So, very excited to see that one. And apparently it's going to have a morphing gimmick, so that should be interesting, to say the least. And now to quickly take a look at Wizard Arcs, you guys can see, it's sadly the exact same as Drawn Braves. Boring. Okay, so with that all out of the way, let's now take a look at the paperwork we get with this. Because, yeah, with CX, there is, oh boy, there is a lot of new stuff to learn, lots of new parts to work around with. So you get this big whole roadmap just detailing how to use the bays, of course, how to launch them, you know, what to do and what not to do, and of course what makes CX stand apart from the BX and UX lines. So lots and lots of paperwork for these. But don't worry, I will simplify those for you guys as soon as I can get this thing folded up here. Alright, there we go. So, let's go ahead and I think we'll start off with, of course, we'll just go in order with CX01 here and work our way around. So, in the box here, as you saw, we do get these lovely new winder launchers, which, again, are pretty much the exact same as the standard winders, except now they're white and black, and the text is now white for these as well. So, nothing really different about them. Of course, they work the exact same way as the previous winder launchers. You put your bay on there, put it counterclockwise, and then you just pull the ripcord and you're off to the races. And the ball bearings are, once again, quite smooth. And you do get a nice white ripcord with each one. And you only get them with Drawn Brave and Wizard Arc. I should mention that as well. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the part by part here. As with CX, as you guys can tell, there are way more parts than ever to look at with these. So we'll start off with the first of the brand new parts we have for CX. This is called the lock chip. So essentially this is the brand new gear chip type idea that we got with the original BX and UX lines. And this part is called Drawn. So this is, of course, your motif that the combo is all going to be based around. And taking a look at this Drawn lock chip, it looks absolutely fantastic. We do get it in this very nice white plastic, and we do get this beautiful design of Drawn right there, looking very drawn-y. And for those who've been, again, paying attention to the previous variations, you will recognize this as basically being an updated version of Drawn Sword's design. And boy, what an update it is. We got orange around the sides instead of just the blue. And now we got 4 just searing flames coming out of the dragon's mouth as opposed to just the one coming out of the side. So really cool. Really happy to see this design come back, let alone in an updated fashion. So, does look quite cool. Of course, you do have the 3 prongs right there that, of course, lock in with your with the other parts of the layer. or blade rather. And on the back you do have, of course, the little locking prongs back here, and of course the little piece that your bit will snap into, which is also how you unlock the bays. And I'll show you guys how to do that here in a bit. So, very, very cool lock chip. Really, really neat new part to the CX line. Next up, we'll take a look at the second part of our blade now, which is called the main blade. Yes, and this is Brave. And Brave looks quite good. Obviously, we do have very nice printed details for the plastic part. And, of course, we do get the nice, sharp, aggressive blades here, which are beautifully picked out in this nice, chunky metal here. And just like with the BX and UX lines, the metal is indeed clear-coated. So no oxidation here, which is awesome. Now, of course, as I said, this does kind of tie into John Brave's whole gimmick, being, of course, the more streamlined aerodynamic design. In this case, if you take a look underneath these parts right here, you'll notice these two holes. Those are air vents, and those are spread across all three parts of the blade. So the air is designed to flow through them and pass over the blades. Basically, kind of like aerodynamics on a car, right? To allow it to be much more aerodynamic and much, much faster than the previous three variations that we've gotten so far. And of course, on the back, the plastic part is screwed in with a couple tri-wing screws. And it does look, again, quite nice here on our lovely John Brave. And no last but certainly not least, we get our final part of the blade, which is called the assist blade, and this is S, or slash. So slash does look quite cool in this nice blue color. Of course, on the back we do get some, oh boy, lots of molding holes in here. But essentially the idea behind this assist blade is it's supposed to line up with the metal parts on the main blade, thus further emphasizing the aggressive aerodynamic design we got going on here for John Brave. Now, how do you assemble all three of these parts together, you might ask? Well, it is quite simple. All you do is you just take the main blade and you just lock that in with your assist blade like so. As there are little holes on the bottom that will align with the three prongs right here, so just line those up, and those will just nicely slide into place. And then you take your lock chip and you put it in, and then you just twist to the right. And there you have your John Brave blade all fully assembled. Yes, it really is just that easy. And taking a look at the fully combined blade, you can see this guy is a chonk. quite the chonker of a blade. And of course you can see just how aggressive that design is. And you guys can also see the little parts of the blade sticking out there to further emphasize its aggressive movement. Just really nice looking. Really like this new style of blade. And again, to quickly compare it again to the original drawn sword, you guys can see once again a beautiful update and just full-on makeover of the original drawn sword. Just really cool to see this design come back, again, in a modern style. So, very well done. Now, with the blade out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at our brand new ratchet, which is 660. So 660, this is brand new ratchet, so we have 6 points now, which I believe is the most points we've gotten on a 60 series ratchet. Well, right next to 960, but still, a lot of points. And of course, we have the 6 there, so this is 6 millimeters for it. And we do get it here in this nice white and blue, or light blue, which goes very nicely, of course, with our lovely blade. So that is really cool to see come back, the 60 height at least, and just the overall color scheme going on there as well. And last but not least, we get our brand new bit, which is V, or Vortex. Now, of course, Vortex is essentially just a right spin version of Cobalt Dragoon's Cyclone from the BX line. And to quickly compare it, let me grab my Cyclone real quick. So you guys can see, this is just essentially just the right spin version of Cyclone. So Cyclone's over here, and here we have Vortex. So, and as you can see, it is a good bit larger than Vortex, or Cyclone rather. a good bit larger. And the gear ratios are pretty much about the same as they were on Cobalt Dragoon's Cyclone. And of course, you do get that bump right there, which, as I said before, is, or in a couple reviews, is of course high burst resistance, which for an attack type, that is definitely a must. So that is good to see that come back. And of course, to lock in your ratchet here, it's pretty much the same as you would do with any other system bay. Just click it in like that, and then click in your bit. And there you guys have Drawn Brave / 660 Vortex. What an absolute behemoth of a bay. Just so many parts, so heavy, so aggressive, but an awesome, awesome new addition to the Drawn lineage. Just so happy with this guy. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so now with that guy out of the way, let's now take a look at the other member of Team Persona here, that being Wizard Arc. So let's see what he's got going over here. Of course, starting off once again with our lock chip, here we have the Wizard lock chip. And it does look, again, really, really good. Again, just taking what already looked really, really good with the original Wizard Arrow and just doing a modernized version or updated version of it. And it does look quite good. Of course, we get it in this nice sort of green-yellow color. And, of course, we also do have the Beyblade X logo right there, which is, if I didn't mention it with Drawn Brave, those are on all of them, so that has stayed consistent. And, of course, you do get the arrow right there indicating the spin direction, which, of course, is right spin. Of course, the 3 prongs are still here on this lock chip. And, of course, on the back, pretty much the exact same as Drawn's lock chip. So, very, very cool to see right there. Next up, we get our main blade, which is Arc. And, again, does look quite good. Of course, we have this very nice sort of circular design, which, again, is very much heavily evocative of the original Wizard Arrow. So, and its design, which, again, is very much evocative of like a bow and arrow. So, very nice to see right there. Of course, right here we do get the beautiful tattooed details for like the lightning and sort of energy flowing through the blade here. And of course we get these little plastic parts that just kind of jump off of the corners as well. Kind of, again, adding to the whole arc thing or theme with this guy. And of course on the back we do get, of course, the same sort of 3-prong design back here with the 3 tri-ring screws. And we do also notice the little bit of imbalance they put on this corner of the blade. So that is nice to see, so that way this blade isn't super overpowered or anything. And of course we do get a nice layer of clear coat on the metal, which, again, prevents oxidation. So very nice to see all of that come back with this main blade. Super, super cool. Right there. And next up, we will take a look at the assist blade, which is R, or round. And, well, the name they didn't lie. It is very round. And, of course, you do have all these different little air holes that go through the entire thing. This does look just absolutely gorgeous. Of course, on the back here, we do have this very conspicuous bit of plastic right there. Curious to see what that's for. And, of course, we do have the 3 prongs right there that all lock the bay together as well. So, that's pretty much it there for round. And, of course, to once again show you guys how to lock the blade together, just, again, make sure you align the 3 metal prongs with the 3 ports on the bottom. Slides in like so. And then you just take your lock chip, pop it in, and then just simply twist to the right. Or the left, rather. And there you have Wizard Arc right there. Now, of course, the design is a little bit lopsided, so I'm going to actually have to futz around with it a little bit real quick. But you can see you can basically lock them in any orientation, which is nice. But, of course, they intend you to have it in a certain orientation, so I'll have to quickly futz with it to get it to center where it's supposed to be. I think it goes like that. There we go. There we have Wizard Arc now. Now properly oriented. Very, very nice to see. And of course, you can see compared to Drawn Brave as well, yeah, this time around, Wizard is quite the shorty. Quite the shorty indeed. So, oh boy. So that pretty much does it for the blade there. Now let's move on to our brand new ratchet, which is 455. So this is a brand new height, so 55 millimeters, which is awesome. And of course we have the 4 points on the ratchet, and we do get it in this very nice neon green. You'll also notice the locking mechanism is significantly different from previous ratchets. Even though we have kind of seen this before with 355, I believe, back in UX, but it is nice to see this idea come back here with Wizard Arc. And last but not least, we get the bit, which is LO, or low orb. So yes, we have a brand new orb variation. And oh boy, it is quite the interesting variation indeed. For a quick comparison, let me grab my original orb that came out on Viper Tail, or Tail Viper. And you guys can see it is a good little bit lower than the original orb. And if I put it here like this, there you guys can kind of see just how low orb is. It's not much, but it is definitely low enough to be, you can definitely notice how small it is. And you do get it here again with this nice yellow, and well, pretty much the same gimmick as orb had is the same here. Nice small ball, should have low friction, and should aid in stamina. But sadly, just like the original orb, it does have low burst resistance. So that is a little bit of a bummer. But to quickly lock our Wizard Arc together, which, oh boy, should just, guess it just kind of clicks in like that. Doesn't really click in, but it just kind of sits there. And put our bit in. There you have Wizard Arc round 455 low orb. Yes, I realize the names are getting complicated already, but still looks just absolutely fantastic. And of course, to quickly compare it to the original Wizard Arrow, you guys can see, once again, just a beautiful update / revamp to the original Wizard Arrow. Absolutely fantastic. So putting you off to the side, let's now take a look at our third and final CX release, which, as I said, is not a member of Team Persona this time, which is nice to see. I'm glad to see we're getting characters that aren't always from our main cast. That is nice to see, as they did that quite a bit last gen, but I'm glad to see that idea is definitely coming back in full force this gen. So taking a look at our lock chip, here we have Perseus. Yes. So Perseus, for those who somehow don't know, was the Greek hero that slayed Medusa in Greek mythology. So pretty awesome to see him come back with this nice design. And for our Metal Fight fans out there in the audience, this guy is indeed a callback to Metal Fight 2's, or Beyblade Metal Masters, Gravity Perseus. Yes. So, good to see him come back, Julian Konzern. Glad to see you come back, man. We missed you. But taking a look at him, he does look absolutely fantastic with this sort of red piercing eye that stares deep into you. And of course you got his big giant helmet and a little bit of his cape there, which again is basically how the original Perseus back in Metal Fight was characterized. So very nice to see that. And of course in the background we do have this sort of diamond motif, which any Bey that has those going forward basically means that it is a Metal Fight or Metal Saga callback. So really nice to see that here as well. Of course, get the Beyblade X logo hidden behind the helmet there as well. And we do get the arrow there to indicate that this is indeed a right spin bay, as there were rumors kicking around that this guy was left spin, but sadly, he's not. So that's kind of a bummer. And of course on the back, pretty much the same as the other lock chips, but still, very, very cool design, and we get it on this beautiful metallic purple plastic. So that is really nice to see. And next up, we'll take a look at our main blade, which is dark. And yeah, pretty much the exact same as Perseus from Metal Fight, but just a little different, you know? Well, that and this design is also very similar. If I can grab it real quick. To Knight Lance, which is just really funny how similar these two designs are. Because, I mean, come on. No wonder why there were rumors kicking around that this guy was the evolution of Lance, or the Knight line. But sadly, no, it is its own unique bay. Or, I guess, you know, that could be a good thing, however you want to interpret it. And once again, we do have this nice sort of bumpy design, which again ties into its whole defensive idea. So you can see you got points coming off here, points coming off there. We got these big plastic parts with these little nodules coming off as well. So it doesn't matter where you hit this guy, there is no weak spot on Perseus, which is awesome. And of course, for the metal parts, we do get, again, that level of clear coat on it. Or layer, rather, of clear coat. And of course, on the back, we do have, again, the 3 tri-ring screws. And, of course, just the hollowness of the metal, which is a little disappointing, but also kind of a good thing, so that way they're not crazy powerful. But still, that is definitely something to take note of with these new CX guys. And, of course, last but certainly not least, we will quickly take a look at the assist blade, which is B, or bumper. And, yeah, it does look quite interesting in this nice black plastic. Of course, we have the slots and everything to connect it to the lock chip and main blade. But of course, the gimmick for this part is, of course, the many different bumps coming off of it that are supposed to align with, of course, your Perseus blade or main blade to basically allow it to deflect any attack that comes at it. So, very, very nice to see. Of course, on the bottom, we do have, of course, all these different holes, and where our case may be from the molding, and we do get this very conspicuous little bit of plastic there. Curious to see what that's for, if we get any information on that at all. But, once you put your blade all together, making sure to, of course, align everything properly, and put in our lock chip, give it a little click, there we go. There you have Perseus Dark right there, looking, again, very, very menacing with all of his awesome purple glory right there. Just an awesome, awesome design. Just really, really dig him. So, yeah, just excellent design for Perseus Dark. Now let's move on now to the ratchet, which is 680. So previously, as we saw with Drawn Brave, we had 660, but now we have 680. So this is the 80 version of the 6 series ratchets. And we do get it here in this nice black and purple, which is awesome. So very, very cool to see with this ratchet. And last but certainly not least, we get the bit, which is W, or wedge, which, to our Burst fans out there, you might remember that with the wedge driver. But unlike the wedge driver, which was metal, this is plastic instead. And what's interesting, too, is how narrow this bit is. Now, of course, for those who are worried about this being a breakage issue, I highly, highly doubt it. Because this is quite reinforced and doesn't seem like something that's going to break too terribly easy. But as you can see with the gear ratio, it is significantly smaller than other bits, such as, of course, our new Vortex and Low Orb, but it is still quite interesting. And of course, the gimmick with this bit is, of course, the wedge shape, which should, again, allow for not only for it to hold its position in the stadium, but should also be difficult to knock out thanks to its wedge shape. So that is quite awesome to see. And once you put the bay all together, ooh, nice tight click. There you have Perseus Dark Bumper 680 wedge. So again, a real big chonker here for this release. And oh man, just so happy to finally have these in the collection. But before, of course, I move on here, let's do a quick showcase right here of just all three bays together. So you guys can see, yeah, what an awesome assortment of bays here for the start of the CX system. Now, I should also mention that with these new parts, you will be able to cross-combine them. Like, see, for example, say I wanted to have the, say if I wanted to use Bumper, right, the deflection capabilities and defensive properties of Bumper, whilst at the same time having the aerodynamics and the aggressiveness of the Brave Blade. Well, as you guys are about to see me do, you can have the best of both worlds now with the CX system. So you just pop these apart. And of course we can take our Bumper Assist Blade and our drawn main blade, and put those together just like that. So now you can have the best of both worlds with these two bays. And vice versa for this guy. Say we want to have the defensive properties of the Perseus blade, but we also want to have the aggressive aerodynamic design of the Slash blade, Assist blade. You can put those two together, and there you go. You get your new blade just like that. And for some reason, if you don't like the Perseus or the drawn lock chips, you could easily just take Wizards, pop it in there, and there you go. Makes some really wacky, wild combinations, which is really cool to see with CX. So now blades are much more customizable than ever before. And I am so here for it, because this opens up a whole new door to what Beyblade X bays can do now, for sure. Of course, your bits and your ratchets work exactly the same, and just like with the previous systems, you can still spin the bit freely around, though just like with UX, the lock chips do not spin around with the bit when you turn it. So that's a shame. But I think at this point, that's a much needed sacrifice, as it was just a neat little novelty with the previous system. But still, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this, I know, the gigantic overview on the bays themselves. So let's go ahead and, of course, do our usual jump cut, and let's see what these brand new CX bays are capable of in the battle arena. So, see you guys in just a bit. Alright guys, and we are back. And of course we have our lovely Double Extreme Stadium to test out our brand new CX bays in. Oh boy, I'm genuinely excited to test these guys because I'm hoping they're good. I'm hoping. So, of course, over here off screen I do have all of the lovely CX bays all right here. Let's go ahead and test them each one by one. I think we'll go in order of their release. So, starting off with our lovely John Brave here. And of course, for this one, we will be using one of their new winder launchers to test them out. So let's see just how much faster John Brave is compared to the previous John Line bays. Here we go. Oh, wow, and it is fast. Woo! Okay. Yeah, it really gets going. But it's not nearly as fast as, like, Drawn Dagger, for example. But I think that's mostly due to the fact that it's just got a heck of a lot more weight it has to push around. But still, it definitely does spin quite a bit faster than the original Drawn Sword. So from that benchmark, I think it definitely works. Now then, let's test out Wizard Arc here. Okay, and it is very stable. I mean, wow. outside of the obvious imbalance, I mean, yeah, it's pretty darn steady. So, very good one there on Wizard Arc. And last but not least, let's grab our lovely Perseus Dark and see what he does on his own. And once again, he is very, very stable. Doesn't move too much, but again, should be good for defense at the very least. Of course, due to Wedge's shape, it's obviously going to be a little bit wibbly. But for the most part, yeah, it's going to be very hard to shake this guy, I would think. So let's go ahead and test these guys out against some of our other bays here. And I think just for fun, I think we'll start out by testing each of the bays against their previous variations. So let's grab the original drawn sword here and see what it can do against its original version. This hits from John Brave a little bit. Okay, woo! There's some attack there. Come on, John Brave. And John Brave won that. Barely, but it did. Let's go again. Wow, big hits from Brave. Holy crap. And just like that, it is over. John Brave, just, wow, really, really strong. As it should be. Here we go. Whoa! Lucky hit from Drawn Sword, but still, yeah, Drawn Brave definitely had him beat by a bit. By a bit. But wow, yeah, Drawn Brave, what a nice power bump as well. Just really nice to see. Now let's go ahead and put it against its second variation, Drawn Dagger. Let's see what it can do real quick here. As you can see, it is still quite a bit faster than the original sword. So it is nice to see, but come on, let's see some contact here. Please. Please. Please! Okay, well, Dagger definitely had him outsped by a bit there. By a bit. Let's go again. Wow, a big hits already. Oh, come on, Brave. Hit him! Yes! Woo! But still, John Brave just didn't have enough stamina to best John Dagger there. One more time. Okay, that time he got some lucky hits in. So, very nice to see. John Brave absolutely just cooked him that time. But it is nice to see as already that they're still strong, but they aren't as powerful, if not more so, than Drawn Dagger. Let me rephrase that. But no, you guys know what I meant. It's definitely strong, but it's not too much more powerful, right? So just a slight power bump, but not too much. Now for the real test here. Drawn Buster. What can it do against probably its most powerful variation to date? Wow! Wow, an instant burst from Buster. Holy crap. Okay, well I guess Buster ain't playing around today. Good grief. Alright, let's now try it one more time here. Because that had to be a fool, right? Come on, Brave. Wow, twice! Jeez. Alright, Buster, come on. Come on, you gotta have a little more in you. Please. There's no way you're just getting destroyed like this. Come on, Brave. You can do it. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay. But still, how hilarious was that? So apparently it is just short enough. Just about to hit the ratchet. Looks to be. So there is a definite burst risk with this guy. So definitely do be careful when you're using him, apparently. as if you're low enough, you can just sneak yourself a burst right there. Okay, now let's switch gears now onto Wizard Arc. And we'll start off, of course, with the original Wizard Arrow. Okay, already. Lots of action. Okay, an extreme... Oh! And a knockout for Wizard Arc. Okay, very good. Very good. Let's go again. Wow! And also, ow! That was quite the burst. Okay. Good stuff there, Wizard Arc. Very good. So, one more go. Oh, look at those hits. Jeez. Yeah, Wizard Arc might be small, but he doesn't play around. Holy crap. Alright. Come on, Arc. You can do it. Yes! Okay. And Wizard Arrow just got demolished. Jeez. Alright. Now, again, for the real test. Can it best its best variation to date? Wizard Rod. If it can beat Rod, I'm sold. That's it. He's the best. Because Rod is probably one of, if not the hardest stamina types to beat. So if it can beat this, I'll be impressed. Come on, Wizard Arc. No, it's not looking too good. Come on, Arc. If it can't, I'm hoping it can at least best him in stamina. Like, come on. No! Dang it. Okay. Well, that's just the first one. Let's do it again. Come on, Arc. You can do it. Wow! And a surprising, like, just retaliation from Arc. Jeez. Okay, let's go one more time. Wow. But yeah, surprisingly, Arc does have some speed. He might be a stamina type, but he's got some punch. Oh boy. Alright, come on. Dang it! But still, the fact he was able to get a cheap shot like that, that was impressive enough. At least for me. But yeah, so Wizard Arc, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Alright, let's go ahead and grab Perseus Dark now. Hey, let's see. You know what? Since it looks so much like Night Lance, why not put it against it? So, here we go. Alright, show me what you got, Perseus Dark. Okay. Pretty good defense, I would say, so far. It can definitely dish off hits, but at the same time take them. That's a good defense if it should. And then it's coming down to the wire. And Perseus Dark takes it. Dang. Alright, let's do it again. Lots of movement going. Wow! And a crazy smash attack from Perseus. A little bit there. Alright. And Perseus takes it again. Alright, one more go. Wow! Okay. Come on, Perseus Dark. Aw, dang it. And a burst to Perseus Dark. Okay. So it is pretty strong, but it definitely can burst. That's for sure. Now let's see what other defense types I could put it against, because I'm curious. How about the original Knight Shield? Can it best the Mighty Shield? We will find out. Oh, big hit. Okay. Come on, big hit, something, anything. Oh, and it's looking like it's going to go to Perseus. Oh, and it goes to Shield. Okay, let's go again. Oh, come on, Perseus Dark. Yes! Deflected that attack beautifully. Ooh, a good smash attack. Or down, a force smash, rather. And Perseus Dark takes it. Very nice. Alright, one more time. Alright, come on, Perseus Dark. Yes! Take it. Oh, but it's coming out of the wire now. Dang it. And Shield takes it for the last one. So, again, pretty strong, but not too overpowered, as it should be. Alright, I think last but not least, at least for the previous systems here, let's do another really good defense type here, or just a good defense type in general. Leon Crest. See what it can do. Ooh, big hit already. And another one. Ooh, extreme dash. Okay. Come on, Perseus Dark. Show them what you're made of. There you go. Yes. Dang it. Pretty close, but Leon just managed to sneak the win there. All right. Here we go again. Ooh, big hits. Lots of big hits. Oh, okay. And Perseus takes it. Barely, but he does. Alright, one more time. Alright, Perseus Dark, you can do it. Ooh, big hit. Another one. Another one. Come on. Yes. And it's going to Perseus Dark. Barely, but he just squeezed out that win. Oh boy. Okay, and now, just to finish it all off, let's put the bays against each other one by one. So, Perseus now versus... Oh, geez, and I just noticed a bit of the paint just got chipped on mine. Look at that. It's only been like a handful of battles, and already the paint is getting chipped on the plastic. But anyway, let's now put Ark against, of course, our mighty Perseus. See what it can do. Alright, come on guys. CX against CX. Who's gonna win? Ooh, lots of big hits. Ooh, another one. Whoa, okay. He's getting hung up on the lip there of the stadium. Come on, Wizard Ark. Yes! Barely, but it snuck out that win. Let's do it one more time. Oh boy. Dang, and Wizard gets the win again. Okay, now then, Perseus Dark, let's see you against Drawn Brave. How strong is your defense? Guess we'll find out. Wow! Wow! A very quick but swift victory for Drawn Brave. That was like nothing. Okay. Come on, Perseus, give him at least a little bit of a challenge. Holy crap! Ow! And a burst to Perseus Dark. Wow! Jeez. Alright, let's give him one more try. This time, of course, with our winder. Maybe that'll make a difference. Even if it is ever so slight. I was gonna say, get together, dude. Okay. And Drawn Brave barely won that. But did you see those jumps? Holy crap. Boy, is jumpy. Okay. So, I think with that, let's now finish this very long video off with Drawn Brave and Wizard Arc. Let's see what these two can do against one another. Wow, and a big hit from Drawn. Another big hit. 3, 4 almost. Okay. Come on, Arc. You can do it. Yeah, there we go. And Wizard Arc once again snags himself the W. Let's go again. Woo! Okay, come on. Drawn Brave. Oh, just destroyed him that round. Wow. Okay. One more time. And a clean knockout for our lovely Drawn Brave. That was quick. I'm surprised. And with that, that basically concludes part 1 of our Beyblade CX review. Or my Beyblade CX review. And yeah, these guys are awesome. This is just that next step in Beyblade evolution, and boy howdy does it show it. So I think my positives are pretty much clear here. Drawn Brave, an absolutely strong attack type, and just like with UX, an amazing attack type to start the CX system with. And again, taking what already worked so well with Drawn Brave, or Sword rather, with its aggressive shape and its emphasis on smash attack, I'm glad to see that they kept those parts and built on it further with its Brave evolution. Or variation, rather. And then, of course, with Wizard here, I mean, it's just, once again, just taking what worked with Arrow and just bumping it up and cranking it up to 11. It's just absolutely fantastic. 455, I don't know, feels a little iffy to use, but low orb, really nice to see on this guy. Quite good. And last but not least, our newest Bay that we haven't seen before, Perseus Dark, looks to be a very interesting defense type. The idea of it being essentially just having all these bumps and protrusions to try to block attacks from pretty much every direction, above, below, directly in front of it, is an interesting idea. Even though in execution, that seems to be a little left to be desired. And of course, on the 80 height is also kind of questionable, because shouldn't it be on a slightly lower height to decrease its burst risk? And of course, the nice wedge bit here is interesting, but definitely needs to be tested further to see if this thing is really good or not. But with all that said, that pretty much wraps it up for part 1. If you guys did enjoy this one, then please make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell so that way you guys get notified for all my uploads. And definitely stay tuned for part 2, where we take a look at the 4th CX release, which is the big CX Stadium set. So I'll definitely be seeing you guys in part 2. So, later, Read Squad, and have a good one. For now.